Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Plantifically Wild, where we never know quite what we're going to get, but I guarantee that it will be plantific and it will be wild. So today we are going to be talking about the Alocasia Micholitziana, and you are in the right place if you want to know more about plant care. You're in the right place if you want to help me build a plantifically wild community where we learn from each other, we become inspired from each other. And you're also in the right place if you want to listen to some songs that I'm inspired to sing by plants or poetry. Now, and some other things, some other surprises to come. But the other day I posted a poem that I had written. So please go back to my channel and look at that after this video. And that is titled OG Planty Poem, something like that, for original poem. I would do this, like, oh, look up here and this, but we are one and done. We are not editing because I am still recovering from a concussion. So just to do these videos is a lot. And so just know that you can click on the picture of me with a pillow. Oh, look at this, a pillow. And you can go to all of the channel's videos so far. Okay, by the way, I got this pillow for my birthday a few months ago on Etsy, and the company is called Enjoy Pillows. And this is in the shape of an Alocasia Micholitziana, but here is the real Micholitziana. I think that's pretty cool. I'm gonna put this back. What I love about this plant is how velvety it is and just how much fun it's been to watch over the last 6 months. Right now, this is a new leaf coming in. It is just magnificently gorgeous, and it's a little more paper thin than these, and it's a little less velvety. This leaf here is very, very green and velvety. And here's a new baby leaf coming in right here. It doesn't even have the veins yet. But as you can see, this plant at 6 months old, since I've had it, is starting to overtake the whole kitchen table. So recently I was able to go to the plant store called Somewhere That's Green. And by the way, that's where I got this plant. And I purchased this beautiful plant stand, which is the perfect solution for the problem of an Alocasia overtaking the table. The maker of this, I wasn't able to find a website, but it's called Mountain Flower Creation. Yeah, so anyway, that was at the plant store locally here in Central Oregon. And this is also the plant that has helped me to heal over the last few months. It's helped me to heal because it's sat on my kitchen table, and every single day I have looked at it, I have sent it love. I think that in plant care, love for a plant is the number one thing. The number one thing. Yes, I wrote a poem for it. Yes, you can go wherever that is in the ethers, go check out that poem on my channel. But I think the main thing is that the plant feels loved. Now that doesn't always work. You need some other ingredients. And so one of them is light. And if you'll just kind of show where this is, it's in between two windows. I apologize if the lighting is not the best on me. We tried a little light bulb, but it reflects in my glasses and it bothers me as I'm still recovering. So just some natural light here. This gets what's called bright indirect light, and this right here is a north-facing window, and this right here is a west-facing window, and it's just been really happy on this kitchen table. So light is something that's very important for a plant. The other thing that's important is the soil, otherwise known as the substrate, and I want to plop her out here and show you. Now, I have been into loving plants ever since age 18. I'm in my 50s now, but ever since age 18. And I have recently discovered how wonderful clear plastic pots are. The thing about an Alocasia is that it it loves to remain moist. And this is about the time it needs to be watered. I want to show you how you can see down here in the bottom. I'll turn it around if you'll keep the camera there. Thanks. There's some moisture down here, but up here it's starting to look pretty dry. So what I'm going to do is water the plant, and I will do that right now. I have some water already made up in my watering can. I typically carry it over to the sink, honestly, but for these purposes, I will put it in this little thing here. And what I've added to the water is something called Grow Queen, which I have recently been using, and it is phenomenal. And so what I do is I just put a capful into a whole gallon jug and then dilute it by pouring it into here. So we're going to pour it in, and then, oops, I'll tell you a little bit more about the plant and just watch that. It's okay if it sits in a little bit of water for a little while. Just watch how it all absorbs in that, and it'll be a lot happier. So Alocasia likes to be moist, and for me right now over the summer, I'm watering this plant about every 3 days, it seems like. Now over the winter and into the early spring, I seem to water it about maybe every 5 days. So it definitely needs more water because it's hotter out and it is growing faster. And I've only been using this on this plant for about the past 3 weeks, I think. I want to show you what I love, a product that I love. I don't have links or anything for these yet or anything, but I love this fish fertilizer. Now, some people will tell you, and it is true, that it does smell. It does smell kind of like a fish tank, but for me, it goes away in an hour or two. So over the winter, I would add half a capful, and instead of in a gallon jug, in a half-gallon jug, and then I'd shake it up and water it with that. I'd water all my plants, even in the winter with it, because a lot of them were new babies, and I'm still healing from a concussion. And so as I was healing and that they were like really my lifeline, I wanted to make sure they were growing well. The thing about the fish fertilizer though is it does smell. Now I loved the way they made my plants look. Like the plants were just singing. However, recently it has been smoky in Central Oregon. Today it's very clear, and we can have the windows open. We had them open earlier, but when I shut the windows, I've needed to switch over to something that smells less. Now this does have some kelp in it, and I'm experimenting with some other products, so we will see how this goes. But so far, I really love this in that it doesn't smell, and I think I will use this as well, because I do really love the way that it just makes the plant so vibrant. But when we have to shut the windows and I don't have any air conditioning and it's smoky out, we're gonna hold off with the smell for a little bit longer. But this really, really did very well for all my plants over the winter. So now we've talked about lighting. We've talked about love. Have I talked about love? I can't remember. I think I did. I think I told you that the #1 ingredient to any plant is love, loving the plant and observing, you know. The cool thing about plants is that it is not a stagnant hobby by any means. Every day there is something new to appreciate. It keeps us in gratitude and appreciation and joy when things like the new leaves come. It can also be frustrating. Don't get me wrong. There's a video somewhere, if you go to my channel, where I talk about, oops, I overwatered my coleus, my indoor coleus. So you could check that video out as well, because things like that do happen. And on my channel, we are going to be real here, sharing our successes and our struggles. So this has soaked up some water. And by the way, the roots coming out, I'm gonna let a few more roots come out before I repot it, but it is growing so well. In the 6 months I've had this plant, I've repotted it about, I think this is the 3rd repot. Okay, so we're gonna put this back in here. And this is, the plastic pot is called a cash pot, and then the outer pot is called a cover pot. If you've been in this hobby for a while, you probably know that. I'm gonna put this back up here. Oh no, actually I'm gonna bring it back down because I want to tell you about its soil. I'll move this off the table now. So its soil, another word for soil is substrate. And in order to not overwater the Alocasia, I have this wonderful soil mix. It is called Molly's Aroid mix, and they're really good for Aroid plants such as philodendron and Alocasia and many plants actually. If you want a video in there, that's what it looks like. It's very chunky. It's actually not soil, but it's a bunch of things like orchid bark and core chips and cocoa coir. And then this is what it looks like when it is moist. And the thing with the Alocasia is you don't want to overwater it, but it does love to remain moist. Alocasia are heavy feeders, so they do love to be fertilized. And I only use natural type of fertilizers, so I'm not into the chemical stuff, so I can't speak to that. So yes, and what else about this plant? Oh, it does not like drafts. So there's a door right there. So anytime in the wintertime when we came in and out, we tried to make it real quick. It does not like drafts. It does come from a tropical beginning where it loves the heat and it loves humidity. I do not have humidity, unfortunately. I live in Central Oregon and I'm not interested in keeping humidifiers either, so it is what it is, but often having plants next to each other can provide humidity. This is also in the kitchen, so there's many times where we are cooking and we are preparing food and doing the dishes, so I feel like it gets a good dose of humidity that way. And finally, I just want to say that, well, yeah, this plant has really meant the world to me, over and above almost any other plant. I got it on Valentine's Day. And again, it's in the poem, OG poem that I wrote. And I just posted that a few days ago because on Valentine's Day it was the 14th and now this is August 18th. So for the 14th of August, I posted that video and I was so inspired by this plant and its beauty to write a poem and then to go somewhere and wear my sunglasses and get someone to take me there and perform it. And that meant the world to me because December 1st is when I hit my occiput and I damaged cranial nerves that go to my eyeballs and my neck. And it's been a real hard healing journey. And just how this plant has grown, I have grown too. I'm happy to say that my headaches are fewer between, that I can look at a phone screen anyway on night mode a little bit more, and my beloved son is helping me tremendously. I just really wanted to start this channel, so I know that's kind of crazy and doesn't make sense, but it's what I've wanted to do for a while. And the plant care has really given me a purpose for looking forward to something, a purpose for gratitude, and a purpose to appreciate being indoors when it becomes nighttime and I can't drive. So those are the things that I have loved that the plants have offered me. And yeah, I just love this little heart here. I don't know if you could see this, but yeah. I tend to be an overwaterer, so this Alocasia is really nice that way. I know that some people, they plant their allocations in what's called leca or pon. I have not experimented with that yet, so I don't know how that would be for me, but right now I'm just using the Molly's Aroid mix. And I think that that is about everything I want to say about this plant. I did name her Ariana, She's the Micholitziana. So yes. And if you would like to know a little bit more about my journey and me, please go and find the earlier videos. I do some houseplant tours, and I also tell more about my story, about how I hit my neck and I am healing. This plant is growing. I am in gratitude, and I'm just amazed at its everyday beauty, and I've really enjoyed putting it on the kitchen table. We're going to put it back now, and thank you so much. Have a great day and stay plantifically wild. Please subscribe if you haven't already and join our community. Thank you.